Hey guys, and welcome back to the decider match between Azumo and Ant Razy to decide who gets that first seat in the grand final of the World Championship. My name is Nostum. I'm joined here with Yo, it's Flo. We have Murloc Paladin versus Zoo Warlock. What do you think about this matchup?
I gotta say, I think it's slightly Murloc Paladin favored. I think prior to this last expansion, I think Zoo is quite favored, but the introduction of Call to Arms, I think puts Murloc Paladin slightly ahead.
Yeah, in a matchup where you just heavily play for board, pulling out those three minions is just always pretty hard for Warlock to deal with.
Yeah, usually the minions that get pulled out of more than 1 HP, the Despicable Dreadlord, not going to be able to clear them up. But a bit of ways off that, just going to play the Librarian on one here. Found a 1-drop, always nice.
And we do see that Andreezy has a pretty strong hand. We said Call to Arms is one of the more important cards in the matchup, and he does have two of them. And him being on the coin, he does have the option to go Call to Arms into Call to Arms, which could be potentially very, very strong.
Yeah, the zoo just can't get that wide that fast. The Murloc Paladin should just be able to swarm the zoo down. Does have the nice 2-3 Murloc here to line up against that 2-4. Will die if the zoo has one of the demon buffs, but looks like he's gonna go for the Rallying Blade here.
And I think this is a little bit of a tough call just because you really want to save that coin for the Call to Arms into Call to Arms, but Ant Rees is just making that call that he has to deal with this homunculus right now, and it actually does play around the demon fire that we could see is in Azumo's hand.
Does play around that, but it does not play around this Glacial Shard. That's an issue for Aunt Rizi here. Not gonna be able to clear up that demon. Does find a second Grimscale Chum, so going to be able to buff up that Tidecaller even further, but not going to get it out of the range of the Soulfire.
Yeah, we saw Andreezy hesitate. He was thinking about going with the Murloc Tidecaller and Hero Power, but he decided he doesn't have another Murloc in his hand. Better to just play them both here and get value out of it. It's not too bad to be inefficient with your minions. He floated 1 mana, but that's okay because he does have Divine Favor in future turns to refill his hand if he ever needs to do that. And as you said, it did not save the minion from the Soulfire, and that's a big tempo swing coming out from Azuma.
Yeah, again, that 5-4 goes unmatched. I mean, the Cult Arms could pull out Knife Juggler, doesn't, so that 5-4 goes uncontested this turn.
And man, whenever a Righteous Protector is pulled out from Called Arms, that just having to take two attacks is such a big deal so many of the times. But Azumo does have the answer with the Spellbreaker, which does line up pretty well here. You don't have to attack that 5-1 into the taunt. Instead, you could take out a little bit bigger minion like this 2-3, and Azumo's going to have to probably feel pretty good about that.
Yep, able to remove a bigger minion, able to remove a Murloc from the board. Spellbreaker, pretty good there all around. Again, another
Not easy.
situation where Knife Juggler could allow
He
for some
knows
better
the Call to
trades.
Arms should come out, and he is playing it. And getting Knife Juggler first means he does get the two juggles, and neither one hitting the Void Walker. So, not going to be able to kill it off this turn, but he might be thinking about does he want to make trades into the Void Walker this turn to potentially make the board a little bit easier to clean up next turn. I'm a little bit curious what he decides to do here.
Yeah, I mean, if he's worried about the Dreadlord, yeah, we could see that 1-1 get traded in. So it gets value
That's
before
a
it just
really
dies
heads
for
up
free.
play. Playing around that Dreadlord that we do see that Azumo has.
Now he's got an interesting decision point. Could choose to use that Demon Fire as a buff on the Voidwalker for it to get a value trade on one of these 2-2s, or just as a removal spell on a 2-2. I think we'll see it uses as a removal spell here. Yeah. Does able to remove 3 minions this way, really limiting the Paladin's options.
And let's see what the mall is. Oh, Divine Shields. Definitely one of the better results here. Whenever you're in a matchup where you're playing heavily for board, even getting Divine Shield on two minions can just be such a big tempo swing. And I think that it leaves him with a really strong option to even play it out here just with the Hydrologist, could put up that secret. He might decide that he wants to get the Megastore value right now, but if you give these two Murlocs Divine Shield, it's very likely that they'll stick around for next turn to be buffed up.
Yeah, I think setting up 2 Murlocs here to be able to get that adapt when they're able to attack next turn should be really good
Oh
for Aunt
man.
Reezy here.
And the secret options. A lot of times in this matchup, the two most important secrets you're looking for is Noble Sacrifice and Redemption, just because those two secrets help you play for a board the best. But him finding neither of them, he ends up going that with the Eye for an Eye, deciding that's going to help him race here because his opponent is Warlock and they do tap pretty low. But I can't believe he hit the minion here.
Yeah, really using his life as a resource. Just feels like he can go this low and still stabilize and win this race, but 6 is pushing it against Zoo. Has the Doom Guards and the Soulfires to be able to get those last few points of damage in.
Nazumo had the option that turn to put him to 1, but if you play the Dreadlord this turn, you still have that Doomguard for next turn, and you know that your opponent has to deal with both of the minions you play.
A lot of good adapts here. Wind
Oh.
Fury lethal. Doesn't find it.
Yeah, +3 attack. I believe that puts him to 1 HP here, but he has to deal with these minions on board or else he's going to die.
Yeah, not a position where he can race with the minions in play. Has to deal with the board. Both +3 attack and poisonous. Do it. Both Murlocs will die, so no real difference. He's should end up picking those and making trades. Being at 6 life requires the Zoo to have 2 sources of damage to finish you off, which is unlikely.
And the difference in the choice between +3 attack and poisonous, you're basically choosing which option do you want to be on this Murloc War Leader for next turn, and he decides that he values the poisonous a little bit more than the +3 attack.
Right.
But oh man, he just took that 5 damage using his life as a resource once again. But we do see that cost him there. TJ has the Doom Guard and is going to lethal his opponent, putting him as the first person going into the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, Enrizi put himself in a situation where the Warlock was at 12 and he had 12 power on board, but Azumo had the burst from hand, and yeah, as you said, he's moving on and is going to face the winner of Killing All Day and Disguised Toast in the second semifinal.